Let me be clear from the start, taking the wrong supplements, or taking the right ones the wrong way, and do more harm than good. You may think magnesium, vitamin D3, and K2 are just standard vitamins, something you pick up at the pharmacy and forget about. But I want to challenge that thinking, because these three compounds are not just supplements. They are molecular levers. When used correctly, they can dramatically influence your brain function, your bone strength, your heart health, and even your longevity. And when misused, when taken without the proper timing, form, or synergy, they can create imbalances in your body that accelerate aging instead of slowing it. So before you take your next dose of magnesium, D3, or K2, listen closely. Magnesium plays a crucial role in maintaining the health of both the brain and body, particularly as we age. While many people associate magnesium with muscle relaxation or sleep support, its impact goes much deeper, especially for seniors. Magnesium is involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the human body, influencing everything from nerve function and muscle performance to energy production and even mood regulation. One of its most vital functions is supporting the nervous system by helping neurons fire correctly. Neurons, the brain's communication cells, rely on the balance of minerals like magnesium to maintain the electrical charges that allow for efficient signaling. When magnesium levels are low, this balance is disrupted and neurons can misfire, leading to symptoms such as brain fog, anxiety, irritability, and even memory issues. As we age, magnesium levels tend to decline due to several factors, including reduced absorption from the digestive tract and increased excretion from the kidneys. Medications often prescribed to seniors, such as diuretics, antacids, and certain blood pressure drugs, can further deplete magnesium stores. This creates a scenario where the brain and muscles aren't operating at full capacity, contributing to fatigue, poor sleep, and decreased mobility. Low magnesium also affects the way muscles contract and relax. Without enough of it, muscles may cramp more often, feel weak, or tire quickly during everyday activities. However, not all magnesium supplements are created equal. Many people reach for the most common and inexpensive forms, like magnesium oxide, without realizing it has very poor absorption in the gut. In fact, the body may absorb as little as 4% of magnesium oxide. This can lead to digestive upset while offering little to no benefit to magnesium levels. Instead, forms such as magnesium glycinate, citrate, or malate are better absorbed and easier on the stomach. Magnesium glycinate, in particular, is known for its calming effects on the nervous system, making it especially beneficial for improving sleep quality and reducing anxiety, two major issues that commonly affect seniors. The timing of magnesium supplementation also matters. Taking magnesium at night may enhance its calming effects and support restorative sleep, but this can vary depending on the form used and individual needs. Additionally, magnesium doesn't work in isolation. It's a cofactor for activating vitamin D3 in the liver and kidneys, meaning if you are low in magnesium, your body may struggle to properly utilize vitamin D3, even if you're supplementing with it. This interplay between magnesium and vitamin D3 is critical, as D3 plays its own essential role in regulating calcium absorption and immune function. Because of these connections, magnesium should not be viewed as an optional add-on, but as a foundational nutrient. Especially for seniors, optimizing magnesium intake is vital to maintaining cognitive function, muscle strength, and emotional stability. When done properly, choosing the right form, taking it at the right time, and understanding its interaction with other nutrients, magnesium becomes one of the most powerful tools for preserving long-term health and quality of life. Ignoring it or taking the wrong kind may not only waste time and money, but also leave the body undersupported in key areas as it ages. Vitamin D3, often thought of simply as a bone vitamin, is actually a powerful hormone that plays a central role in regulating the body's health at a genetic level. It influences over 0 genes, many of which are involved in critical functions like immune response, inflammation control, hormone regulation, and brain health. For seniors, maintaining adequate vitamin D3 levels is especially important, as deficiencies can contribute to a wide range of age-related issues such as weakened bones, poor cognitive performance, mood disturbances, and increased risk of chronic illness. What many people don't realize is that vitamin D3 is not just about getting sunlight or preventing fractures. It's about cellular function and gene expression throughout the entire body. As a fat, soluble hormone, vitamin D3 is stored in body fat and activated in the liver and kidneys. Once activated, it binds to receptors inside cells and directly influences which genes are turned on or off. This means that D3 doesn't just affect bones. It literally helps instruct your DNA to produce proteins that keep your body running properly. For example, D3 has a direct role in producing antimicrobial peptides, which help your immune system fight infections. It also modulates inflammation, which is a core driver of many chronic diseases like heart disease, arthritis, and even Alzheimer's. In the brain, vitamin D3 supports neurotransmitter production, including serotonin and dopamine, both of which are essential for mood regulation, focus, and overall emotional stability. Despite its importance, vitamin D3 deficiency is widespread among older adults. With age, the skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into D3, and people often spend more time indoors, further reducing exposure. Additionally, digestive absorption may decline with age and kidney function, essential for activating D3, and deteriorate, making it harder for the body to maintain sufficient levels. When this deficiency persists, it can quietly impact a person's resilience, energy, immunity, and mental clarity without any immediately obvious symptoms. The problem is compounded when vitamin D3 is taken in isolation. Many seniors take high doses of D3 in an effort to improve bone health, but without proper co-nutrients, especially vitamin K2 and magnesium, this strategy can backfire. D3 increases the body's absorption of calcium, but without K2 to guide that calcium into bones and teeth, and without magnesium to activate D3 in the first place, calcium can end up depositing in soft tissues like arteries, joints, and organs. This leads to calcification, increasing the risk of heart disease and joint stiffness. Exactly the kind of problems people are trying to avoid by supplementing. Therefore, understanding D3's true role in the body changes everything. It's not just a daily capsule to avoid brittle bones. It's a master regulator of health. But its benefits are only fully realized when taken with precision, proper dosage, the right supporting nutrients, and ideally after testing blood levels. Seniors who take D3 intelligently, supporting it with K2 and magnesium, are not just protecting their bones, they're optimizing their entire biology. This strategic approach to supplementation is what transforms D3 from a generic vitamin into a tool for enhancing longevity, mental clarity, and resilience against disease. Vitamin K2 plays a vital but often overlooked role in maintaining long-term health, especially for seniors. While it is sometimes confused with vitamin K1, which is primarily involved in blood clotting, K2 has a completely different function, directing calcium to where the body needs it most and keeping it away from places where it can cause harm. As people age, the risk of calcium building up in arteries and soft tissues increases significantly, leading to conditions like arterial calcification, kidney stones, joint stiffness, and even heart disease. Vitamin K2 acts as the biological traffic controller, ensuring that the calcium absorbed through diet or supplements especially when taking vitamin D3, ends up in the bones and teeth rather than the arteries. The mechanism behind K2's function lies in its ability to activate proteins such as osteocalcin and matrix GLA protein MGP. Osteocalcin helps bind calcium to the bone matrix, improving bone strength and density. MGP, on the other hand, prevents calcium from accumulating in soft tissues like blood vessels. Without sufficient K2, these proteins remain inactive, and calcium may circulate in the bloodstream with nowhere safe to go. Over time, this unregulated calcium can be deposited in arteries, contributing to the stiffening and narrowing of vessels, which increases blood pressure and raises the risk of heart attacks and strokes. This issue becomes particularly important when someone is supplementing with vitamin D3. D3 increases calcium absorption from food and supplements, which is typically seen as a good thing for bone health. However, if K2 is not present in adequate amounts, that extra calcium can be misdirected, making the benefits of D3 incomplete or even harmful. In fact, studies have shown that without K2, high levels of D3 and calcium supplementation can accelerate calcification in arteries rather than improve bone density. For this reason, D3 and K2 should always be taken together, especially for seniors who are already at higher risk of cardiovascular disease. Among the different forms of K2, MK7 is especially effective because it has a longer half-life in the body, allowing it to work over a sustained period of time. This makes it easier to maintain consistent activation of calcium, regulating proteins, offering long-term protection. MK7 is found naturally in fermented foods like natto, but it can also be taken as a supplement for those who don't consume these types of foods regularly. For seniors looking to preserve bone density while protecting their heart and circulatory system, daily supplementation with MK7 may be one of the most powerful yet simple steps they can take. Many people focus heavily on calcium and vitamin in D3 for bone health, but without vitamin in K2, this approach is incomplete and potentially dangerous. The brilliance of K2 is that it doesn't just add to the body, it organizes and protects it. It ensures that nutrients like calcium are used efficiently, reducing the likelihood of unwanted side effects. For anyone over 60, understanding and utilizing K2 is not optional, it is essential. It bridges the gap between supplementing for stronger bones and protecting cardiovascular health at the same time. In the end, vitamin K2 isn't just a support nutrient, it's a cornerstone of intelligent, safe, and effective aging. Magnesium, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 are often discussed separately, each praised for their unique benefits to the body. But what truly sets them apart is how they work together in harmony to regulate some of the most critical functions in human health, especially in seniors. These three nutrients form a synergistic trio that supports calcium metabolism, bone strength, cardiovascular integrity, immune balance, and nervous system function. When taken together in the right ratios and forms, they can enhance each other's effectiveness and reduce the risk of complications. On the other hand, taking one or two of them in isolation without the others can lead to imbalances that may actually harm the body instead of supporting it. Magnesium plays a foundational role in this trio. It is required to activate vitamin D3 in both the liver and the kidneys. Without enough magnesium, the body struggles to convert D3 into its active form, which means even if someone is supplementing with high doses of D3, they may not be getting the full benefit. Additionally, magnesium helps regulate the calcium channels in cells, ensuring that calcium enters and exits cells appropriately. If magnesium levels are low, calcium can accumulate in places it shouldn't, potentially leading to muscle cramps, joint pain, or even calcification in blood vessels. Vitamin D3, once activated, increases the absorption of calcium from the gut. This is beneficial for bone strength and cellular function, but it also means that there is more calcium circulating in the body. This extra calcium must be properly managed, and that's where vitamin K2 comes in. K2 directs calcium away from soft tissues like arteries and instead guides it into bones and teeth, where it provides structural support. Without enough K2, the calcium absorbed thanks to D3 can end up accumulating in blood vessels or organs, increasing the risk of heart disease, arterial stiffness, and other degenerative conditions. This interdependence means that using any of these nutrients without considering the others can lead to unintended consequences. For example, supplementing with D3 alone can improve calcium absorption, but also increase the risk of calcium misplacement if K2 is not present. Taking magnesium without D3 may help nerve and muscle function, but it won't activate the full potential of vitamin D in the body, and relying solely on K2 without adequate D3 or magnesium may leave the calcium transport system underpowered. The body needs all three in concert to operate with precision and balance. For seniors, this balance becomes even more important. Aging naturally brings a decline in nutrient absorption, hormonal regulation, and cellular efficiency. It also increases the risk of chronic conditions like osteoporosis, atherosclerosis, and cognitive decline. Taking these three nutrients together doesn't just help prevent those outcomes. It creates a foundation of resilience. This approach transforms supplementation from a guessing game into a science-based strategy. Instead of trying to address symptoms or isolated issues, the magnesium D3 K2 trio addresses the root systems of aging by ensuring bones are stronger, arteries remain clear, and cells are supported with the essential tools they need to function properly. Ultimately, intelligent supplementation is not about taking more, it's about taking what works together. When magnesium, D3, and K2 are combined intentionally, they create a protective synergy that supports longevity, clarity, and strength in the most natural and efficient way possible.